Anthropic just did something weird. Their new model is half the price of their flagship, and on a bunch of their own benchmarks, the cheap one wins. I even ran my own test with both models, and the results surprised me. Let me show you. So this is Claude Opus 5. It dropped this week, and it's Anthropic's new workhorse model. The headline claim is simple: close to Fable 5 quality at half the cost. That's a big claim, so let's check their numbers. First, the price. Fable 5 costs $10 per million tokens in and 50 out. Opus 5 is 5 in, 25 out. Exactly half. And here's the detail most people missed. That's the same price as the old Opus. The upgrade is free. And this isn't spin from some influencer. These numbers sit in Anthropic's own announcement. Their own benchmarks show the cheaper model beating their flagship. Take CursorBench 3.2. That's real coding inside an editor. At max effort, Opus 5 lands within 0.5% of Fable's peak score, at half the cost per task. And most people never run max effort anyway. On high and extra high, the outputs are basically the same. And it's not one lucky benchmark. On Frontier Bench, Opus 5 beats every other model and more than doubles the old Opus. On ARC-AGI 3, its score is 3 times the next best model. On OSWorld, where the model controls a real computer, it beats Fable's best result at about 1/3 of the cost. And on Zapier's automation benchmark, it passes about 1.5 times more tasks than the next best model for the same cost. For me, the bigger story is the jump inside the Opus line. Opus 4.8 was already good. Opus 5 just walks past it everywhere, and it's token efficient. It reaches the answer with less output, so cost per task drops, even though the price per token stayed the same. The science numbers jumped too. Organic chemistry is up 10.2 points over the old Opus. Protein prediction is up 7.7. And my favorite story from the announcement, they gave it a drawing of a machine part and asked for a CAD model. But the model had no way to open the image, so it wrote its own computer vision pipeline, pulled the geometry out of the raw pixels, and rebuilt the part, repeatedly. And one more thing caught my eye. Claude still can't generate images, but it can code them. The announcement shows a wind tunnel simulation and an interactive cell you can explore, both written as code. That used to be Claude's weak spot. Now, safeguards. Fable 5 ships with 3 strict classifiers: cybersecurity, biology, and model theft. When one triggers, your request quietly falls back to the old Opus. Opus 5 keeps its protections, but the cyber classifier steps in about 85% less often than Fable's. And on Anthropic's misalignment audit, it scored the lowest of their recent models. Lower is better there. So, why does Fable even exist? Because it isn't an Opus. It sits in a new tier above, called Mythos class. Fable 5 is the version they made safe for everyone. Mythos 5 is the same brain with fewer limits, and it's invite only. For what it's worth, over 95% of Fable sessions never touch a fallback. Quick thing before I show you the test. If you'd rather build this stuff than watch me do it, I run a small community called the Build with AI Club. I'm in there most days, and I answer the questions myself. You can try the whole thing free for 7 days. Every chapter, every pack I sell, and me when you get stuck. Link is below. Okay, benchmarks are one thing. I wanted to see it myself, so I gave both models the exact same prompt. One shot, no retries. The task: build an interactive page that teaches how a motorcycle engine works. Moving piston, valves, spark, an RPM slider. One file, no libraries, one shot. Both models took around 20 minutes. And both audited their own code without ever seeing it render. Here's what Fable 5 built. Honestly, gorgeous. But it shipped with a runtime error in the console and a status label that contradicts the animation. And here's Opus 5, just as polished, with live engine numbers, 0 errors. On my one test, the half-price model shipped the cleaner build. So here's how I'd use them. Opus 5 for everyday work. It's half the price, and most days you won't feel the difference. Fable 5 when you need the absolute ceiling. If you're building with AI and want help doing it, the community link is below. And if this saved you some money, subscribe. See you in the next one.